Alright, today I got to talk to a friend, got to hear some child laughter, which is always a positive thing. Um, the guy I'm staying with right now, he's not watching shows about killing and death and murder. He's watching a show called How I Met Your Mother. It's kind of fun. There's, you know, a lot of misogyny on there and a lot of sexism and things like that, but it's not a bunch of rape jokes. It's not a bunch of train. It's not a bunch of unrealistic bullshit drama. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in life that's dramatic. Um, like if you're watching TV, that it's drama. I mean, this is drama too, but it's not a bunch of screaming and yelling at each other and being rude and inconsiderate to each other. And be nice too if it was a little warmer out. Right now, I'm standing in the kitchen with my hands in my pocket. Um, if it was warmer out, I could actually work on the things that I need to. He's got the volume down to a reasonable level. He's got the TV on with that show, and he's also streaming the live video for what he watches, which he likes watching other people play a video game that he plays. So, although it is a little bit much for me because of that, which, I mean, literally, that's not something that I can change. I can't just make that aspect of my life disappear. I can't just change the fact that if there's too much noise, I can't function. That would be great if I could just magic that away, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be wonderful? But the other thing is, like, I don't have an income. I'm not able to pay him for the roof over my head. I'm not able to pay him for any of the food that I eat, which is why it's lucky there is a food bank in town. Um, I mean that's all stuff that I am grateful for. It's not that he's some terrible person because he can't help me the way that I need, and he's not some fucking train. He's not some terrible person. He's a pretty decent dude. But when he gets overwhelmed or he needs to take a break from his own stuff, the stuff that he's into most of the time, I seriously can't handle it. I have to keep my mouth shut and just take it. And it's not abusive. I mean, it's abuse on TV, but it's not him being abusive to me. It's not him being abusive to the people around me. It's just me and him here. He's not screaming at his boyfriend or girlfriend. He's not yelling at kids over stupid stuff that, I mean, really, let your kids be fucking kids for Christ's sake. You know? Um, that's for most of y'all. You're so busy trying to get your kids to be adults. Let them be fucking kids. Let them play. I mean, a lot of the parents that I grew up in high school with, I mean, they won't let their kids do the things that we did growing up. Not a chance that they'd let them go out and ride their bike around town. I didn't get to do that very often because I didn't spend much time at my parents' house. Most of the time I was in institutions or foster homes or group homes and things like that. But the thing is, I feel bad for being here. I've felt bad for being at every place that I was at because without that income, other people are taking care of me. And a lot of them, when they didn't keep their word, they throw it in my face that they fed me, or they throw it in their face that they did this or they did that. That's not what I traveled there for. Here, I literally just traveled here for the roof. That's literally why I'm in this household. And the guy whose house I'm staying in, he's good to me. He's not terrible to me. But also, if I interrupt his routine too much, it's going to aggravate him, and I will end up sleeping out in the snow and dragging all of my evidence with me. I have to pack it all up in my suitcase and pull it along everywhere I go. And I'm lucky to have that suitcase. It's got wheels on it, it's got a handle, but at the same time, it hurts my back to pull it. There's a lot of things that people just didn't want to understand until it was too late. Rihanna understood before I ever went to go see her. She understood before I drove to Cheyenne what was going on this last time. She understood what was going on because I explained it to her. And the agreement that we made, she didn't keep that agreement because she was drunk. That's not my fault. That's not my decision. Now, the things that I had to worry about is, all right, I'm stuck here in Wyoming. I don't have the money to leave here, so I'm stuck in Rawlins, Wyoming at Rihanna's. And if I leave Rihanna's, I have to worry about Amy's kids. I also have to worry about cops harassing me. It's illegal for you to be homeless in Wyoming, just like it is most places. And the police let me know that it's illegal for me to sleep anywhere in town. I mean, when I was released from jail and I went to those places trying to get help, trying to get a room for the night, because of what Rihanna had said and because of the stuff that's on my record that shouldn't be there, the police literally called up the hotels in town and told them not to let me in. One of the hotels that was there, the two ladies that were working there that night, they let me know that they were listening to the police scanners the day that I was arrested over there at the McDonald's. But also, like, what can I do? I don't have an advocate. I don't have anyone who's going to stand up for my rights. I don't have anyone who's there who's going to do that. And Rihanna said that she would. But obviously, no, she's not. If she's busy getting drunk and hitting the kids and kicking me out for saying, hey, you need to stop hitting the kids. You need to stop beating on those children. You need to stop smacking them around. And that's a major issue with me, is that, like, when I was made homeless by that situation, like, there was nothing that I could do except be trapped in that situation, trapped in Rawlins, Wyoming, knowing that if I have to live out of my vehicle that doesn't have functional brake lights and have to live in the Walmart parking lot, I have to deal with the police. I will have to deal with the police. The longer I am there, the more I'm going to have to deal with them. And some cops are nice, some of them are. But at the same time, when you're trying to tell on an officer who's not nice, who did fucked up things, and this was two whole departments that were involved in this, a sheriff's department and a police department. Yeah, there's some major fucking issues there. I needed somebody to care about my rights. There are laws in place that are supposed to protect me from these situations. There are people who are specifically paid to make sure that situations like this don't happen to me, so that adults who are at risk aren't victimized the way that I have been. But those people didn't do their jobs. They just simply did not do their jobs. And I can barely function to make these videos. I'm glad that I have the ability to make these videos. It is a lot less stress for me being able to make a live video like this than it is having to make a short video on my phone and then wait hours and hours and hours for it to download to the internet and then erase it so that I can start another one, because I don't really have anybody to talk to. Nobody who's going to do anything anyway. All of these professionals. I mean, shit. Jen Beebe, she talked to me when I was in jail in Scotts Bluff, back in December of last year. And that was the last time she talked to me. She's called me once since then. I've called her probably, I want to say at least a dozen times, but I don't think it's that many. I don't want to annoy her to the point where she's like, oh, well, you're harassing me. Fuck. You gave me your word. You told me that you would come forward. You told me that you would tell the truth. You told me you would write it down. And that's the point about having a guardian to defend my rights, to go in there with me, is because none of these things that happened to me would have happened to me if they had done their jobs. The last person out of all of these government assholes who actually did their job wasn't a government asshole. It was Tamara from Region 1. I mean, when Tamara was working with me, when Tamara was my caseworker, things were getting done. The right thing was being done. She understood the issues that I faced. And she wanted to make sure that things that happened to me didn't happen to her son, so she quit her job, but not before making sure I got disability. And those of you who just want to assume that I can do this stuff because you say I can, you want to assume that because I don't have a lisp, or because I don't speak extremely nasally, and I don't have a cleft palate, that, well, I'm too intelligent to be victimized. No, I'm in a desperate situation. It's easy to victimize someone who is in a desperate situation. And just because somebody has a cleft palate doesn't mean that they're fucking retarded. It doesn't mean that they're stupid. There are people, I am sure, with cleft palates that are far more intelligent than I am. And that's hard to beat because if you put 100 people in a room, chances are I'm smarter than 99 of them. But intelligence, my intelligence quotient, doesn't give me the ability to do the things that many of these people are able to do. No matter how intelligent I am, if there's 2 or 3 people talking at once, yeah, I'm gonna have difficulties. Only gonna catch parts of what 1 or 2 people are saying. I'm not gonna catch the whole conversation. If I'm extremely overwhelmed because I need peace and quiet to work on the things that I need to. Like today, I can't work on the things that I need to. I still can't. It's fucking too cold upstairs. My fingers are frozen. And they're not excuses. This is stuff that I actually have to deal with. I need my own place. I need my money back. And the longer it takes to get that, the more fucked I am, the more abuse I have to take. There's a lot of evidence that the police should have collected and taken a look at, but they were covering for the wrongdoing of other officers. Scott DaCosta the other day giving me a whole fucking list of shit that I'm not allowed to talk about, crap like that. Fuck. I tried to stick to his guidelines, but the fact is, all of it ties in together. I mean, that situation with my grandmother's funeral with Ted Bollinger and Alicia Bollinger, that needed to be documented. That needed to be something that I could take those people to court with. I mean, they were fucking with my head, just like Jennifer Farina Bollinger, just like Danica Garner and Rochelle Shelley Campbell. These people are lying pieces of shit. They had their friends do bad shit to me, and that magically washes their hands clean. No, that's conspiracy. And that conspiracy is against the law. That conspiracy is felonious. The same thing with what the police did, conspiring to prevent me from being able to defend myself. Conspiring to hide the wrongdoing and the crimes of other officers and the Bollinger family. Yes, those are felonies. Especially when you're doing that to somebody who is disabled. But it only matters if people care. Only matters if you are family and your family cares enough to stand up and say, hey, knock it the fuck off. That's the issue with all of these people who called me family. All of these people, from Brenda Dickinson to Miss Peaches to Tabby, all called me family. And when they didn't keep their word, and it fucked me because they didn't keep their word, but they still took my resources. They're like, oh, well, my family, my family, my family. I know. I know. I know. I already fucking knew you were going to use that as an excuse when you didn't keep your word. But the fact is, I'm not the one who made you lie. You made the conscious decision to do that. And most of these people didn't start pulling that bullshit until they realized that I was out of resources. I was out of money. I couldn't pay for any more of their weed. I couldn't pay for any more of their alcohol. Meanwhile, I'm not there to pay for their weed and their alcohol. I'm there for help that they promised. Shannon Alvarado's, by the time I went there, I didn't have any money. I didn't have my disability money coming in. All of my disability money got spent moving my stuff from place to place. And Brandon Ratner, he could write that down, all of the situations that we were in together. He could. Last time I talked to him when he was giving me that ride to and from Wyoming for my court date, I said, I need you to write it down, Brandon. He said, well, I don't know what else there is to write down. I already said everything, in those videos. And I'm like, all right, still, it needs to be written down or they're not going to listen.